Alright, so I'm going to rotate tires on the Nissan Xterra here. This is how I do it. So the first thing I did, I went around with this Craftsman breaker bar and I broke all the lug nuts loose. I used a deep well Craftsman 21 socket for that. And then later on when I'm tightening, I'm going to be using this. It's a Craftsman torque wrench, and I torque them down to 100 foot-pounds. So what I'm going to do here is I'll jack up this side, and then I'll take the front tire off, leave it out of the way, and move the back one there up to the front. Alright, so I got it jacked up. I just took the back wheel off. Honestly, I usually don't use jack stands, but this yellow Craftsman jack here, I think this is a 4-ton. I don't know, it was really odd. It was going very difficult, and I've had issues with that one leaking. So little security, we'll put down 2 floor jacks. So I'm taking this tire here and I'm going to put that on the front then. Okay, so I got the front off, and now I'm going to put the back one on the front, and the front one's going to the back on the passenger side. This is the driver's side that we're working on. So typically what I do is I'll roll the tire around just to make sure there's no nails or screws or anything in it. It's just good to check. You can check for wear too to see if there's wear on the inside or outsides. This tire actually looks like it's wearing pretty good. I usually go about 5,000 miles on rotation, and I think this time I'm a little closer to 7, maybe even 8. But yeah, looks like this should be pretty good here. So what I usually do is just get it underneath like that, get it close, and I'm just going to hoist it up. This is actually pretty easy. We used to do, or I used to work for farm equipment. We did tires for like those big giant spreaders or tankers. Holy cow, those tires are heavy and they're huge. You can't just manhandle them like you can a truck tire here. Those you got to have lined up just right. You have the tanker at the right height so you can get it to slide on. Otherwise, you're dealing with it. And the guy that showed me how to do it that was working there used to work for a tire place, so he was really good with tires. He was really fast. And he had all sorts of tricks, so that was neat learning that stuff with him, because he was definitely an expert when it came to tires. So I'm just going to do this here. I'm going to get them somewhat tight, and I'll come back and hit these with the torque wrench in here in a second. Okay, so I said I was having issues with this floor jack, and now I can't get the jack to come down, because if you see this little pin in here, there's a square shaft that rides inside this handle, and then you spin it, and that lets the oil come down to the cylinder so that the jack will come down. Won't do that because that snapped off. This jack was super expensive, and just like every other jack, it's made in China. Not impressed with that. It's really super heavy. It was a quick lift, and now I don't know if this thing is junk or what. I don't know. It's a professional Craftsman for what that's worth. That Craftsman over there is a 3-ton. That one's like not as expensive, and it's much lighter. So now I have to screw around with this and figure out how I'm getting this back down again. Alright, so I got all the tires back on. Now what I do is I snugged up all the lug nuts, and I come back then with the torque wrench here, and I'm just going to check them, make sure I got them. Once it clicks here, it means I got it at 100 foot-pounds. So, and I'll do that in a star type pattern to make sure that the rim is seated evenly against the rotor. So that's that. Last thing I'll do then is make sure I got it written down in the book of when it was done, mileage wise.